Good to catch you guys back at the Mobile Legends Bang Bang M2 World Championships 2020, powered by Moonton and supported by Singapore Tourism Board and Skoga. We would like to thank our partners in esports, IMDA, for making this possible, and that includes you. So don't forget to like and share the stream as much as possible. Let people know that M2 is happening right now.
Let them know that M2 is happening, but going from zero to hero is made possible in Singapore. Follow Singapore Tourism Board's official Instagram account at visit_Singapore, and don't forget the hashtag #PassionMadePossible to share your fondest memories in Singapore.
You know, speaking of fondest memories, already in day one, we're having a lot of interesting things being happen, from the gameplay to the memes, all being smushed together.
And somebody stop us. Somebody stop us.
Somebody stop us. Man, I didn't expect that to blow up like so quickly, but even so, a lot of great things have been happening here. On the first day itself, I would have expected this to kind of, slowly roll out towards like, maybe even playoffs even, but day one looking real good.
And this is how the community goes. MLBB community is strong as ever.
Yeah.
And they find something funny, you become a meme.
Just like the game, real short, real fast. They get onto it real quick. But let's have a look at Group A. This is going to be Burmese Ghouls versus RSG. And this is the matchup that we've all been waiting for, because these are two very prominent names. Burmese Ghouls, as you mentioned, biggest dark horses coming in from this group, and RSG themselves, a really consistent team. But, after their performance against Unique Devo, I don't know.
You know what? I think RSG just, stuck by the cheese setups.
The cheese setups.
Yeah. Those are very cheesy. I mean, the Hanzo, the Alucard that obviously didn't work.
Okay, is it really that cheesy when, Unique themselves decided, you know what? Game 3, I'll pick the Hanzo this time.
Well, it is in a sense, because it might be in a way that they saw the strategy and they tried to copy it.
Potentially. I like that idea. I like that idea, but we don't have too much information to go off just yet.
Yeah,
Maybe
who knows? Who knows?
We'll have to wait and see, later on they might whip out the Hanzo again, and if they do, that'll be a bit of a tell.
Or there could be somewhat like maybe their player is a really good Hanzo player. Oh, that could be a thing as well. So who knows? Who knows?
I'm actually excited to see if they're gonna decide to bring in their sub maybe once in a while. War Barbie still hasn't shown up just yet, but we're getting off topic here. We need to focus on Burmese Ghouls versus Resurgence, and I mean Burmese Ghouls are looking really, really good in the group so far. They have just been absolutely crushing it, and right now their biggest competition is going to be RSG.
And for the side of Burmese Ghouls, you would know that they're very consistent at what they play. They know what they want. They bring out the big guns as early as game number 1. They don't try to experiment as much, and their coach did say in one interview that they didn't really like the dual marksman setup. So those are the things that you really have to consider. Now, I'm thinking maybe, just maybe Burmese Ghouls, adapted in a way. Maybe they didn't like it back then, but for M2, they were forced to adjust.
Well, I think forced to adjust is a really good term, because it kind of encompasses what they've been trying to do for a very long time, especially coming out of a relatively small MPL region, and they have just been consistently crushing it in locally, and now they just want to get that international title to solidify that yes, our region is valid.
Yeah, and a lot of teams here are just giving a twist of their own to the strategies that are available right now, the meta or the most efficient tactic available. So it's more on just putting a twist and how you give life to these certain strategies in your own way. Like let's say Unique Devo, they have their Grok picks. For RSG, they have their Alucard picks.
Okay. I wouldn't say that's like I mean, it is a unique pick, but I wouldn't say that's like a signature, though.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they tried it. It didn't work.
Fair enough.
It just didn't work. But I think they had a plan. It just didn't work.
Well, speaking of plans, let's have a look at the current standings so that you guys can start formulating your own opinions and plans of the current groups. Let's have a look at it right now. This is going to be the standings for Group B, and it's going to be Omega with a 4-0, 0 losses, 100% win rate, and 4 aggregational points. While Todak managing to go 1-1, 50%, 2-2, 50% game win rate, and 0 points. While Impunity haven't been able to win any of their best of 3s so far.
But anyway, there is still a chance for them. Take this, charge this to experience the group stages. You can still make it out alive to the playoffs on the lower brackets in day number 3. Who knows? Who knows? Maybe they might figure something out and they just surprise us.
Yeah, I think this is really important for a lot of the teams who are thinking if they're coming into the tournament feeling like, oh man, I'm so hot, like there's no way I'm gonna be dropping games to these guys. It kind of brings you back down to earth.
Yeah, and you really have to look at how these teams, should never underestimate anyone here, because these are the best teams in the world. So let us show the player lineups, and so that we know who are going to play in their respective teams.
This is going to be, starting off with the Burmese Ghouls, is going to be Ruby DD, maybe Kid, Ace, and D. I mean, these guys have been absolutely just really, really great players overall. The synergy between them, really solid as well. Their drafting can get a little bit interesting, but overall has an overarching strategy.
And they have this killer instinct to go for the clutch time, ultimates, and they did show us that earlier. They've won the game with a Tigreal Implosion clutch, and we're excited to see more.
Yep. Now, with Resurgence, it's going to be LY4, Sync, Jason, Sana, and KZP as the main lineup coming into this. And hopefully this time, I mean, if there's like a clutch time to make sure they can to secure their points, it's now. They do not want to be dropping a game against the Burmese Ghouls.
And these guys really love to dominate the other team.
Yeah.
Whoever they're facing against, they love the feeling of just, taking them down, pressuring them, hitting them where it hurts. They want to see the team in scrambles.
Yeah.
The other team, not theirs.
I mean, of course, and like it's very prominent because they don't usually press their advantages too hard. They just like controlling the map, playing a game where your opponents are basically falling into whatever you plan for them, and it doesn't matter how far ahead of you are in the game, or at the very least, if you're going 50-50, it's not too bad.
Yeah, I mean, for the side of RSG, you would know that they should have a lot of these, backup plans if ever the pressure strategy doesn't really work for their side. Like, I know these guys are very talented, but sometimes, fate doesn't really allow you to pressure people.
Agreed.
And sometimes these kinds of big tournaments, even though you have strategy, even though you have the mechanics, sometimes you need a bit of luck.
Well, I wouldn't say luck in this case because RSG, they depended all on LY4. And he is just, you give him enough time, give him enough farm, he will make it through.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit. And speaking of which, I'm curious to know whether LY4 is actually playing Clint, because our M2 exclusive skin is available right now, and it's a beautiful, absolutely phenomenal Clint skin that you guys could earn right in the game itself. Make sure you're getting your predictions down right here, right now, if you haven't done it yet.
And that's for $8.99, and it's available up until the 24th. It includes the M2 special avatar border, M2 exclusive skin, the Clint, the Shadow Omen skin, M2 battle emote, and M2 sacred statue. Only for $8.99. What are you waiting for, Gideon? Buy one now.
Oh, I can't help myself. I don't know. We'll have to see right after this. I might be coming back with a shiny new skin.
Yeah.
Woohoo! All right, but speaking of which, I mean, Clint. Speaking of Clint, it's interesting that M2 has decided to go with Clint here because quite a number of changes have been done to Clint itself. So I'm waiting for the moment someone is willing to experiment it here on the big stage where the stakes are really, really high.
Then again, who knows? Maybe they are just waiting for the right time to show it off. It might be the next big thing, but you know what? The next big thing that we're gonna do is the draft for our possible final series of the day. This is RSG versus Burmese Ghouls. This is a best of 3. And whoever wins this has a better chance of securing the upper bracket slot.
Yep, getting those upper bracket slots is a huge advantage. Now, looking at RSG on the blue side there, banning out the Benedetta as well as Esmeralda. Burmese Ghouls taking out the Matilda as well as the Brody.
You know what? RSG here. Right now, these bans are templated. They just went straight for, the Esmeralda and the Benedetta. And I think for the side of RSG, they just study the team so well. So that what they do is they try to find their three best heroes probably and just try to ban it out.
Well, I mean, looking at the other games that we Aaron and Leo are casting, a lot of similarities in these bans. It looks like everybody has the general idea of which way to go. Esmeralda 100% pick and ban so far. Brody 100% pick and ban. Matilda 100% pick and ban. They have never been able to slip through the cracks. Yuzong and Benedetta for sure a lot more popular, but Yuzong here and there has been switched out depending on that situation.
It's not really the highest ranking hero in terms of the win rate.
Yeah, absolutely.
The win rate, but you know what? Yu Zhong, if you give him time to just get a bit of items, then just let him do his thing, and he's successful with it, he's gonna get away with it time and again.
Yep, time and again. Oh, Selena, once more, the Burmese schools prioritizing it, and it instantaneously allows Natalia to slip through the cracks. Burmese schools, they are very aware of this, so really nicely done for the side of RSG to really narrow down on those optional, optional fighters for the off lane to force it out of the Burmese schools.
And Burmese schools really likes this season, Shin. We did see them use this earlier, and you know what, this is probably one of their most consistent heroes in terms of just getting the farm. It may not be 100% win rate, but you know that when Burmese schools get a hold of this season, Shin, it's going to be great.
Absolutely, and I think it's good that Burmese schools do it on first rotation. That Mountain Tracker allows you to spot out where Natalia is on the map instantaneously, giving you a little bit of an edge when you are trying to make that decision over objectives. Lapu Lapu, only natural that Burmese schools are going to whip it out.
And Lapu Lapu, we did see his capability with the past few games, and you know what? He's been winning a lot of those lanes. He might not win the game, but as you can see, in terms of trading, Lapu Lapu always comes out on top.
Yeah, I mean, it comes down to how much pressure can you create in that lane. The more pressure you have, the more it allows your team to kind of breathe on that side of the map, whether top or bottom, EXP or gold. But now, coming for the last 8 seconds here, RSG need to make a decision on what they want to do to deal with their opponents. And it's going to be the Claude as well as the Cho. Cho easily flexible into the off lane, but right now, I'm just going to assume it's a support. Then we have the Claude, absolutely reliable marksman.
I'm actually thinking that Cho will be the tank here for the side of RSG. I'm not really seeing, Lapu versus Cho going good for the side of RSG.
I think, who wins that matchup? I think it's almost 50-50, almost 50-50 if you really, play the lane correctly, but it's still a little bit more favored in towards Lapu because he does have a higher damage output much earlier on into the lane. So level 1 to 2 is really important for Cho to try and punish those mistakes.
Sylvana will be the pick, and as you can see, it can catch out the Claude, it can catch out the Natalia. So this is a good pick. I'm not really sure if this Cho is going to be the side lane, or is it going to be the tanks?
I mean, maybe we'll get a better idea.
We'll get a better idea.
Yeah, once we check out the second part of the ban phase, because Burmese ghouls, they've done their homework. They're getting rid of the Lo Yi because again, we've seen some really nasty plays come out of Sana here, who was able to get his hands on Lo Yi and just teleport them right into brushes, catching their opponents off guard in very awkward angles.
Man, think about it. A diversion to a blazing duet.
Oh boy.
That's the school bus entering your neighborhood, then just taking everything down in their path.
Oh boy, that's more like a monster truck more than it is a school bus at that point. But let's have a look. It looks like it's going to be the Kaja for the side of RSG. They want some extra reassurance that that if they try to go with those picks with the Natalia, that finisher, that she doesn't get locked down, and also the Claude as well, so he can't take his battle mirror image back.
And right now, Ruby DD, they're looking into their last ban. And I'm thinking maybe they're planning to ban out side laners or an off laner right here. I kind of think... I'm actually wondering why Burmese schools went for the Louis ban.
Well, I mean, I get...
The slot was, the slot was filled already by Natalia, or are they thinking that this might be a side lane Natalia?
Potentially. It's not like we've seen some pretty weird builds on Natalia.
Sure.
Yeah, some really weird builds. Some of them rather interesting, where you're trying to abuse the passive as much as you can, and then after that you just build tank items, which is I don't personally like, but it doesn't. I don't want to throw it out of the window just yet.
Yeah, of course. Burmese Ghouls banning out that Farsa. You know what? I like the ban. At least they cannot, turtle in their own turrets if they have to. So right now, if they want to clear the waves, they have to use the Blazing Duet, or they can get another hero that has good wave clear.
Yeah, I'm very surprised that Jawhead wasn't picked up earlier into this matchup. It was wide open, anybody could have taken it, and nobody touched it. They just left it open, they took the Sylvana, they took the Natalia only naturally, and then they decided to go for the Labu Labu. So I find it rather interesting overall. Looks like RSG isn't going to take their last ban here, which is going to mean that the Burmese Ghouls are going to have some open options here. They're only going to get one pick, so RSG are trying to take full advantage of the fact, hey, we don't need to ban the last thing. There's nothing else a priority, and you're only allowed one pick. So this opens up more options for us when we get our double pick in the second phase.
Yeah, and that is another no ban for the side of RSG. Is this a legit strategy now? Kinda got me thinking.
I mean, I'm trying to justify it, and that's the closest way I can justify this strategy to work.
Right now, RSG is gonna go for a Harley and a Khalid. So this might be, guessing from their past performances, I think that Khalid will be the XP laner.
Most likely.
Most likely.
Most likely. Sana, it does have it locked under him, so I would assume, yes, EXP laner. Sync probably going to go into the offlane. Could be going into the offlane, could be going to the support position. That's going to be a little bit tough. But Jason,
Oh, their missing ban is Saber.
Okay. So Saber, definitely a little bit more understandable here. Definitely want to get rid of something that just completely locks you down. Some hard CC, point and click, go in, 3 sweeps, boom, you're either dead or you're about to die.
And this might be the weirdest Jawhead pickup ever. It was done at the last pick.
Yeah, it's bizarre. It's bizarre, but you know, the mind games are coming in here because the Natalia was first picked, and the Burmese Ghouls had to reply with the Yishin Shin, and they had to pick up an offlaner because Benedetta and as well as Yuzong were taken off. So very telegraphed, very interesting draft overall. I love it though. It's about 50-50, but I will say that the Burmese Ghouls look a lot more standard, a lot more solid in terms of their composition.
And right now we are heading into the game. The compositions are locked in. You would get the Saber ban because if you're planning to go Harley, the 100% you need to ban out the Saber.
Oh, for
if
sure.
they had that option, they would go for it.
I mean, it's so versatile. It's like a divine judgment. It's like an imperial justice. You get the lockdown, your whole team is going to collapse on them. That's all you wanted to do. Every other ability, like, sure, it does damage. It's a bonus. It's a plus. But, man, those ultimates are just such powerful abilities in itself.
And right now, the power level of skills is just way too high. If you get caught out by that triple sweep, most likely you're not gonna have a good time, or you cannot contribute anymore just because you're gone.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't exist on the map, then well, it's hard to contribute. But welcome to the Land of Dawn in our final best of 3 of today. It's gonna be RSG versus Burmese Ghouls. Let's see who comes up on top.
And as you can see right here, Sana is going to be the tank Khalid with the Festival of Blood.
Tank Khalid, I guess, maybe gonna get the ejector onto Jason here, but that doesn't mean that he's gonna die, especially when it comes to the strikes coming out of Sana. He chunks him out, but Sana in trouble. KZP looking for the opportunity to get the trade kill, and they trade 1 for 1 at the end of the day. However, that recall might cost them as the next wave is about to collapse.
You know what? That was a great play coming out from Maybe, because he knew that Jason was at level 1, and he got the idea that it's going to be the first kill rather than the hat trick. So it's more likely that he cannot escape that since he doesn't have the flicker as well. But Sana here, just going in, trying to protect his buddy.
Yeah, I mean, he's doing an okay job. Sync again, melee into ranged matchup. Not exactly the most ideal, but he is a Cho, and he has a lot of kill pressure at 4. He goes in and flickers out with the third hit of Jikundo. RubyDD suspects something is up, and he's able to flicker out in time as he does notice the exclamation mark only shown by Natalia.
Flicker for flicker, that is a good trade. And right now, after that, you can see Natalia. He's gonna go all out on this bottom lane.
Yeah.
Look at him.
Oh,
he's already on the back lines.
They're going for the full dive. BDD takes a lot of damage, allowing Jason to easily pick it off. Maybe looking for an ejector, looking for an opportunity. Throws Jason under the turret. Sync unable to catch him with the third hit of Jikundo in time to cancel the ability. They trade 1 for 1 again.
Maybe is punishing Jason way too hard right now.
Yeah.
Every attempt that he goes for the kill, it's gonna be, it's gonna be turnaround or it's gonna be a trade.
Yeah, and it's not looking the best for oh no, Sana's gonna get caught off. D, he was able to wait in the brush just in time, but now the Sandstorm Guardian trying to protect himself. Sana gonna get a little bit of damage on through, and yes, he makes it through. 1 for 1. D now under the microscope of LY4K. ZP is nearby, but he doesn't want to get executed. Ooh boy, both of these teams, really going at it. It's a 2 for 1 trade in favor of the Burmese Ghouls.
Energy shields going down here bit by bit, and they even bring Ace, so this might be the first turret down for the game. Look at this, all the damage output that's coming out from these players. It only takes them to 1/4 HP, and they're probably planning to just break it right now.
And once again, they're making the play down on mid side. However, bottom side is getting dove, and that's going to be Sync, who's taking... No, was it Sync? No, he manages to get out without losing too much. However, the rest of the team of the Burmese Ghouls net themselves the first turret of the game.
And maybe here...
He gets hit by the weight of the dragon, but he's able to flicker on out. Ace still on the chase. Sana gets hit by literally everything. Oh no, when you don't have that much mobility, there's only so much you can do.
Ace on the chase, I love it. It rhymes.
It's got a good ring.
It's kind of a good ring, but you know what? Just seeing the Burmese Ghouls play like this, I mean, they're using all their ultimates to escape. They're not really letting letting their guard down.
Absolutely.
They just want to survive as long as possible so that they can keep the pressure on the heroes here onto the side of RSG. But LY4 getting caught up by the Imperial Justice, but there is a Purify, and here comes D with a Lapu Lapu. One more hit, KPZ actually survives.
Yeah, KZP manages to survive after all of that, and it looks like D just, the senses in him just told him, yeah, I could trade 1 for 1, but instead, I'm just gonna, Brave Warrior out of there, don't need to do this. RubyDD has got a great push down on bot side. Mid lane needs to be cleared. It's too much of a risk.
You know what? A lot of TZs are happening in the Philippines. I just called him KPZ.
Yeah.
For me, like, it's more natural. From all the TZs in the Philippines.
Oh, hold on here. Sync is going to get locked down by the Imperial Justice with a bait coming in from RubyDD, while D as well as Ace on towards the top side here, getting pretty hard chunked out. Sana missing the huge ult there. It would have landed, but the flicker was necessary coming out of D.
And nice usage there of the flicker. Didn't really hold back on it. He knew that if he got caught, he would go down.
Yeah, it's just making sure that you're utilizing your battle spells. But D is doing a really good job, really showcasing what Lapu Lapu is made out of. He can do so much in a lane, and his scaling has just been so good.
Ace here, having the best time, 1-0-2. Nobody has ever touched him yet or took him down in any sense. But for the side of RSG, even Sync is forced to use the flicker, and they're really going at it on these turrets.
Yeah, I mean, just the objective gameplay coming out of the Burmese Ghouls is looking really clean. They're 3k ahead. RubyDD takes quite a bit of damage from the Blazing Duet. Oh no, forces the flicker, and the Deadly Magic is going to secure that kill. Jason comes out ahead. However, they still aren't evening out on that score. Sana gets ejected up and gets hit by the Unstoppable Force, but it's not really going to pressure anything other than zone him out from from mid-tier 1.
Yeah, Burmese Ghouls here. They're not really contesting the farm here of LY4 directly. They're trying to deal with it indirectly. What they're trying to do right now is to just make his map smaller. But Sync here getting caught out, and that is it for him. Lapu Silvana, where do you go to?
Yeah, especially when you don't have it. Oh, Sandstorm coming out of Sana. Is he able with the Festival of Blood as well? Ooh, manages to survive and get that kill onto Ace. They are trading 1 for 1 again. KZB looking for the execute, but maybe he had his finger on the ejector, ready to throw KZB over under towards Kid's side.
This game is action-packed, ladies and gentlemen. As you've noticed, we were still explaining stuff, and one fight was happening onto the mid lane already. That's how aggressive these teams are.
Yeah, they are just looking to trade left, right, and center, from towers to from objectives to kills.
Now, looking at it, going back to what I was saying earlier, it seems to me that they're not really, contesting the farm of the Claude directly. They're doing it indirectly. They're trying to make his map smaller, but he still gets caught out by that unstoppable force.
Yeah,
Although no ejector.
Yeah, no ejector there, mainly because he did use it, because he uses Purify in time. Oh, but now Wi-Fi comes in hard with the Blazing Duet. He takes one with him, but 3 members are already down from the side of RSG. Jason is incapable of doing anything. Ruby DD gets a fat stun there onto 2 members on the side of RSG. What a play!
Burmese Ghouls not holding back on their punches. They're making them suffer here. And Sync, where are you going? That is going to be Imperial Justice, and you cannot Shunpo out of that.
No, you cannot, but he did use the Way of the Dragon just a little bit too late. The amount of CC coming out of the Burmese Ghouls is kind of ridiculous. It's hard to move around.
And as you can see here, Ruby, DD, and Kit going for the push. These are 2 mages, mind you. They're not really the best heroes to push with, but they made it happen there. ZP actually is gonna go and try to initiate, but you know what? He doesn't have enough damage.
Yeah, he really doesn't. I mean, he chunks him out and maybe does go down, but at the end of the day, you are losing a lot of that gold. You are making your net worth get reduced every single time you die. And you can see in the gold differential, it is a 6k gold differential in favor of the Burmese Ghouls.
Now, Burmese Ghouls, they need to make the most out of this. They should be mindful of what the Claude is doing right now. The Claude has only 1 death on his belt. So that means he's been farming for quite a good amount of time now.
For a large amount of time. And not to mention that he did take the Avarice as well, which I found pretty interesting, especially since he went towards the offlane side and was just looking to get as much gold as possible off those free hits in that melee to ranged matchup.
Right now, as you can see, RSG, they're actually converging onto the mid lane, and they are trying to make sense of this game. What can you do to stop the snowball that Burmese Ghouls are running them with over right now?
Oh, I don't know, because Sync, he is on the run. Oh, Imperial Justice does not land. He is looking for an option. He flickers forward as well and gets the execute. Holy! They found an option, but KZP once again moving forward. D finding a huge pick off there. That was so good. It's a triple kill coming in for Ace. Make it a quadra. Maniac coming out by big boy Ace. And now they are looking to try and break into the inhibitor turrets and end this game. KZP can only do so much.
KZP and his gang, this is the 30-second rule. There are 30 seconds on the timers on 4 people here. Can they defend this? That is the question. Can they contest the minions? And yes, they will. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, RSG does have good wave clear mechanics. To be honest.
Honestly, it was really, if Burmese Ghouls really wanted to rush for it, there was a chance. However, they don't want to take the risk. You might as well pull back. It's 10 minutes. The score is 9-18. They are so far ahead in this game. It is ridiculous. I don't think RSG can really force a play onto the Burmese Ghouls.
When you rush stuff, you make more mistakes. So right now, D gets caught out. And this is what I'm saying about when you rush stuff. because he was there on the enemy lines. LY4 is the main target, but he doesn't have any more HP. Joy goes down. Imperial Justice on the back lines. Ladies and gentlemen, they all go down except for the Claude. And this is going to be LY4's defense. Can he clear this up? Does he have the Blazing Duet?
No.
He doesn't have it right now. They go in. They try to take him down. BMI out, and that is going to be those are two mages into the middle lane. They're trying to end this right now. Blazing Duet trying to go for a Kid. Kid goes down. Ruby Didi. Oh my goodness, LY4 just saved the day right there.
Yeah, he is just holding on to the reins here, and unfortunately, he needs to take out this Lord. But the rest of the Burmese ghouls, they won't be able to get there in time as the rest of RSG respawn to defend one more time. It looks like Singapore is still in it to win it.
It is only game number 1, but the fight is hot, and make sure you guys join the fight. You know, just putting it out there. I mean, it rhymes.
I see what you did there. I see what you did there, like a little too late.
It has a good ring.
It does. It has a really good ring to it, as a matter of fact. But now, the Burmese ghouls, okay, Lord, out of the question now. What are we going to have to do? It looks like they're... I mean, for now, RSG has some breathing room, but they can't afford to make a mistake here. If somebody gets picked off, it's not going to matter too much in the grand scheme of things, other than the fact that the Burmese ghouls are going to muscle their way into their base. Now, Sink, he gets caught out, and this was what I was talking about. He gets all 3 hits of the Jeet Kune Do. Sink doesn't take the second part of the way of the dragon. He's looking to Shunpo away, but that doesn't mean anything when you have nowhere to turn.
All of the Burmese ghouls lanes right now, or all the lanes are actually in favor of Burmese ghouls right now. Like, everything is pushing to their side. The only reason why the top is pushing for the side of RSG is because Natalia is there trying to cut the minions. But will he make it in time? That is the question. Burmese ghouls just ended it right there. They knew that the Natalia was up top. They punished that well.
Yeah, it was a checkmate. It was a no-go-back situation, especially after that pick on to Sink. They were a man down. They just knew they had to muscle on in, try to clear the wave. We'll pick off another guy, wait for the next one. We'll pick off another guy, and there wouldn't be enough time to protect the base at that point in time.
Yeah, and Jason right here talking to his teammates, just, you know, trying to re-strategize, trying to get themselves back up. And for these kinds of tournaments, you cannot really tilt in any way.
You can't. You can't afford to do that.
You can't afford to do that because when you tilt, you make you know, decisions that won't benefit the team. So if you're here, you should just recompose yourselves and try to go for a reset.
Yeah, honestly, speaking of reset here and just tilt in general, when I was I'm making my way from Malaysia all the way to Singapore, the things that I was worried about was my tech being absolutely destroyed. And that would have like tilted me beyond anything. So we would like to thank our sponsor, Toomey, for being our partner sponsor in M2. As the journey to become the champion of M2 has been perfected with the latest Toomey luggage and backpack, you can bring your gear anywhere with you, and you can safely without worrying at all. I mean, I don't really have to worry too much, but hey, I'm just saying. But check out Toomey.com/esports to perfect your own journey and enjoy the M2 competition.
And you know what? The luggage, the players, everything is protected because M2 has partnered with SUTL to ensure that the event venue has been coated with SD Pro, an antimicrobial self-disinfecting coating that eliminates bacteria and viruses 24/7 for 180 days. To find out more about what SUTL EnvironTech offers, visit sdst.com.
Now, I know some of you have been thinking, oh, I know what's coming up next, but of course you got to keep your eyes and ears open because as the streams are going for the rest of these days, Razer, our official gaming gear partners, are going to have plenty of stuff to give to you guys, and you just have to be attentive. You just have to, you know, if you got to go to the bathroom, ask somebody else to sit in for you to watch to get you part of these big giveaways because we'll be announcing various amounts of these giveaways thanks to Razer, so keep your eyes peeled.
Okay, so that could have gone worse, but yeah, I kind of get your point. I was expecting something else, but you know what, guys? Let's throw it back to Wolf, the pack leader. Wolf, howl for us.
I think this is a masterclass on how you make your jungler or your carry shine. For the third game in a row, at least for the third match, the third game, that Burmese schools play, they have made Ace shine, and I love it. My name is Wolf, your analyst for today. Thank you so much, by the way, to my co-casters, Gideon and Butters. They're having fun. But you know what? Who else is having fun? It's Ace, definitely. I think that the draft worked perfectly for him. And also, I think that this is how you actually execute with the Yi Sun-shin. Yi Sun-shin is a hero that I would say is kind of under the category of those heroes that are dependent on snowballing. And if it snowballs, it looks good. If it fails, it really looks so weak